Hello gecko fans, this is Wally Kern with Supreme Gecko, and today we're going to look at a very special gecko. It's one of my favorites. It's Coleonyx elegans, and I have an interesting story with these. It's a little bit sad. Stay until the end because I'm going to tell you what happened with these and what we're going to do about it. So stay tuned. Coleonyx elegans is one of the banded geckos. There's several of these geckos. I have kept 4 geckos. Right now I'm keeping 3 of these banded geckos, and elegans is absolutely my favorite. Their babies are just unbelievably cute. They're reddish in color and just adorable. Before I show off those geckos, I do want to mention that I have Nanette doing the recording. Thank you very much for doing this. Say hi, Nanette.
Hello.
Let me go ahead and go get those geckos.
Hey, when you go and get those,
yeah,
do they have a common name, or is elegans their common name?
Elegans is not their common name. That's the genus and species, Coleonyx elegans. Their common name is the Yucatan banded gecko.
And where are they from?
Well, they would be from the Yucatan. This is the Yucatan Peninsula on Mexico.
Oh, sorry. Where's the Yucatan?
The Yucatan Peninsula is on the eastern side of Mexico, down at the bottom, and it kind of comes around, and they're found actually on the Yucatan Peninsula. Thus, they have the name Yucatan banded geckos.
Okay, now you can go and get them. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this closer. Hopefully you can see this. Now, I'm going to talk about the other times that I've had the Coleonyx elegans in the past. But right now we're going to take a look at a male and a female that I received back about this time last year. So they're a little bit older than a year. They're probably around 16 months or so. So let me go ahead and show you how I keep these geckos.
Are these tropical or are these arid?
These are tropical. I actually provide them with a substrate that's a jungle mix mixed with just a little bit of sand, just to keep up the humidity in this tank. You can see that it's a little bit damp here. I dampen under this hide and I dampen under the cup. We'll see that gecko in just a minute. And you can see that I actually provide this male with a couple of different hides.
Do they like to climb, or do they stay on the ground all the time?
Well, they're mostly terrestrial. They'll stay closer to the ground, but they really love to climb up on top of these cork bark pieces. Now again, I have these set up just to grow them out. This is not their permanent setup whatsoever.
Do they need heat?
I do provide them heat. Now for these setups, I have flex watt heat strips on the back of these tanks. So it's covered about 20 to 25%, and the temperature for the warm side gets to be around 90 degrees. The cool side is in this mid 70s to 80 degrees. And again, you can see that I provide 2 different hides so that they can pick and choose whichever hide that they want to stay under. As well, you can see that I have a water dish in here, and make sure that I replace the water at least once a week.
What do they eat?
These guys will eat mealworms and crickets and small dubias. They just devour the food. Now we can take a look at the female's enclosure, but it's almost identical to the male's.
How old do they have to be to breed?
Well, these are actually about 16 months, so I would absolutely wait to breed these animals until they're about a year old.
Is it easy to tell the male from the female?
It's very easy. At this age, we should be able to see the hemipenal bulge on the males, and you should be able to see pores even before that.
Okay, you mentioned that you were going to put the female in at least, and then the male, and then you're going to take them out. Can they not be together?
They aren't going to be kept together, and I'm going to talk about that as we introduce these into their new enclosure.
So what happened before that now you have to watch these animals so closely?
Well, this is a tricky story because I had first received a pair of these animals probably about 8 or 9 years ago, and I introduced them together. Let's go ahead and take a look at this male here. They're just gorgeous. I love the striping down their backs. I introduced the male and the female and checked on them after about a week or so, and unfortunately the female had died. The male had beat the heck out of the female. Now, I talked to the breeder, and he informed me that yes, the males can be very, very aggressive. A little bit late on the draw with that one, but I purchased another pair from him, put them together, and I decided I'm going to check these every single day. And sure enough, after the first day, the male had beat up the female once again. It was very sad. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and introduce the male to the female, and I'm going to watch them like a hawk. And I'm actually putting them together in a bigger enclosure with more hides and really going to keep an eye on them. So let's go ahead and transfer them over to the new enclosure. I want to do this very delicately, maybe. While you focus on this male, I'll go ahead and grab the female. She's a beautiful animal.
He's pretty cool looking.
He is. Again, I love that stripe.
He's going to go find somewhere to hide, it looks like here.
Did you just take off?
He's starting to go in the back.
Okay, the
He's
females.
like, this looks new.
Okay, here we go with the female. Let's see if I can put her... Well, I was going to put her right on the cork bark, but that didn't work.
Jumped right on in. She's pretty cool looking. She doesn't know he's in there, though.
I love these animals. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to throw a couple of additional hides in there.
Don't throw
them. I won't throw them. I'll give them these hides so that they have all kinds of places to get away from each other.
Or you.
What's that?
Or you.
Or me. Get away from me.
It appears she just ran.
I have to fill that water dish. And then... I think for now, we're done. I'm going to come back down here, though, after about a half hour and check them again. I'm going to keep an eagle's eye on these just to make sure that they're okay.
Hey, I'm noticing this setup is a little bit bigger, and it is a little different. Why is it different?
Well, it's bigger, like you said, and it'll give them more room to roam around and hide from each other. It's different in that I have two different areas in this enclosure. A sand area in the front, and in the back is more of the tropical jungle mix. And actually, here's the really cool thing with this enclosure is that I have a hide way in back under the plants, and under that hide is sphagnum moss. And I keep that sphagnum moss very, very damp. So my anticipation is that the female will find that hide, dig under the sphagnum moss, and lay her eggs in the jungle mix under that hide. If you really love these Coleonyx, the banded geckos, especially these Coleonyx elegans, make sure you watch the other videos. I'll give you the link right here so that you can go over to some of the other, to a playlist that I have for the Coleonyx. We're going to check these out in probably another month or so with another video, and hopefully we get some eggs from these. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. We'll see you next time.